What's up? Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's show. It's a new show, new week, new opportunities to have a great conversation. Hello, it's your girl Diamond from Voices Gathering Live. Welcome to the platform. Come on in the room, everyone. Get situated, get yourself acclimated. Come on in the room. Welcome, welcome all. Welcome. Hey, what's up, guys? I want to give you guys a moment to come on in the room, those who are going to be joining the show live, but I wanted to get right into the conversation because it's a heavy hitter, and I can't wait to hear your feedback. So, welcome. While you guys are getting yourself situated to come into the platform, I'm going to just go over the house rules. You know them like the back of your hand. I just need you guys to actually use them. Hello, Ira. What's up? How are you? Good to see you on time as always. Hope to hear more from you in the conversation. Okay, listen. Everybody know the rules, right? So first and foremost, if you don't know, we are always on here. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube where you are today. Make sure you are subscribed and following the show on all these platforms. That way, if you miss one notification in one place, you're going to get the notification in another place. So please, please, please make sure that you are following me on these platforms. I need your support to get this momentum going faster. Okay, look, after that, while we're talking, jump into the Q&A portion of the show. I will be looking at your questions here. Oftentimes, I'm paying attention to you guys here in the camera. So by all means, if I miss your question, I do go back after the show and I post my comment to your question. I'm hoping to actually get to some of your questions or answer some of your thoughts here on the show live. So don't hesitate to start talking in the chats. That's why I have it set up for you. Make yourself familiar with that good old like button. The like button helps me know that you are in the conversation, you're jiving with the conversation, so forth and so on. I gotta say this real quick. People tell me all the time, I'm watching the show. People, please, I really appreciate you watching. I do. But you have to understand, you don't know how YouTube works. So I'm telling you, if you are not talking in the chat, if you give me a thumbs up and don't say hi, I don't know that's your thumbs up. So you have to say hello so I can acknowledge that you were here. If you don't want to delve too deep into the conversation because of jobs or whatever your stance is, I get it. Send me an email at diamond@voicesgathering.com. diamond@voicesgathering.com. And I'll share your feedback without saying your name. We'll keep it anonymous. But I need you guys to interact with me until my co-host, who will be on this platform as a steady, engaged co-host, you guys are the co-host. So come on and talk to me. All righty. I think I've gotten all that I want to get out of the way as it relates to the house rules. So you know them. And I'm glad you are here. So I am really ready to have a real talk with you. All right. So, as you read the introduction to today's show, you know what today's show is. And as I stated in the beginning of the show, it is a heavy hitter. Once again, we find ourselves having a conversation about police brutality. Police brutality. Why are we having this conversation? At least today. Well, I'll tell you why. We're having this conversation because of this gentleman right here. Tyre Nichols. This man is the reason why we are having today's conversation. And I am really, really hoping that you're going to share your thoughts and views about this conversation. So let's get into it. Okay, so what is going on? What is going on? As you know, as recent as this week just passed, and if you don't know, I don't know where you were when this hit, because it hit all of us like a ton of bricks. Ton of bricks. This 29-year-old man, lost his life not by white officers, but by 5 black Memphis officers. And you know, it's kind of hard not to get choked up when you think about the situation that I'm talking about, because it makes you very angry. But bear with me as I talk about my views. And I want to make it very clear, and my disclaimer is I am not here on my platform talking for everybody. I am sharing my voice as one individual about something that matters to me. You get to participate in the comments by saying what matters to you. What are your views about this topic and all topics we have on this show? As I reference certain people, I am not referencing all people. So when I talk about the 5 Memphis police officers, I'm not talking about all police officers. Okay? I'm not. But I am talking about these. And I will reference maybe others that are very similar to them. You might even know some yourself. So this conversation does not apply to all. I am referencing many police officers, but not all police officers. Okay, so here's where I'm at. Annoying. It's annoying. Okay, so first, let me show you their picture. That way, you can see exactly who I am talking about and why I'm talking about them. So let me just bring them on over so you can see their faces and get to know their names really quickly if you don't know who I am referencing or talking about. So I am talking about these 5 men here, and I'm sure as this investigation go forward, I'll be talking about others, because I'm sure other people's name is going to come to the front line of this conversation. But right now, we're going to be talking about, and we're not even going to call them officers. We're going to address them as they should be addressed. Former officers of Memphis Police Department. Right here, we have Demetrius Haley. We have Desmond Mills Jr. We have Emmett Martin III. We have Justin Smith. And we have Tadarius Bean. These 5 men are former police officers from Memphis Police Department who subsequently, let's be very, very clear, subsequently murdered this young man right here. Him. That's what they did. These gentlemen murdered this young man, Tyre Nichols. And I am really curious to you about what your thoughts are about this. What do you think? What are you thinking about this whole situation? I'm very, very curious because I'm angry. I'm very angry. I'm angry for so many reasons. There's not enough paper to write down how angry and why I'm angry. But I'm angry. And I believe that if we don't talk about this will be a repetitive situation when it comes to police officers who take oaths to serve and protect. But we're finding a lot of them are taking the oath, serving and killing, not protecting, killing. How? How is this still happening? How is it still happening? I'm really curious to what you think, or why you believe this is still happening. Because it is absolutely crazy to me. Before I go into some of the definitions of what my research and conversation with people have been, I really want you to understand what this is. There is a serious code of silence when it comes to law officers. When it comes to law officers. Now, everybody wants to talk to me and they know that we have a live show, but they're probably asking me, how do I get into the show? Well, just click the link. Sorry, guys. Okay. Again, there is this strong oath that they take. The oath is they will serve and protect the community, right? They will represent law enforcement with integrity. And what we continue to see amongst the blue is that they take this oath and misuse their power. They cripple the community instead of servicing the community. And this is not all law officers, because I know some good police officers. I truly, truly do. But I'm saddened to say that the police officers I know to be good police officers, they're few. And I don't know a lot of police officers, but the ones I know, and then I look at everything, they're few. Why is it that there's so few good police officers that we hear about, but we constantly hear about really bad police officers? And truth be told, we should hear about them, because I think that if they can keep a lot of things quiet and silent, they will. They absolutely will keep it quiet and silence, which is why there is this code of amongst police officers. And I want to give you the definition. Okay, so here's the definition. What is the code of blue among police officers? The definition of the code of blue amongst them is this. The blue wall of silence, also blue code and blue shield, is a term used to denote the informal code of silence among police officers in the United States, not to report on colleagues' errors, misconducts, or crimes, especially as it relates to police brutality in the United States. I'm going to read that again to you so you can just marinate with that. Again, what is the code of blue amongst police officers? The blue wall of silence, also code of blue and blue shield, are terms used to denote the supposed informal code of silence among police officers in the United States, not to report on colleagues' errors, misconducts, or crime, especially as it relates to police brutality in the United States. And this is what we are seeing when it comes to the former police officers that I mentioned earlier, their names, and the losing of one's life, and that is Mr. Nichols. How did a traffic stop escalate to the point of this man being in the hospital for 3 days on life support and then subsequently end up losing his life? How does a traffic stop, a simple traffic stop? And I'm going to tell you, I have my opinions and views about it, and you may agree or not agree, but I'm going to tell you this. I'm very much going to tell you that, you know how it happens? It happens because no accountability, except when they're black. And I mean that because these 5 former officers who committed such heinous crime, the inhumane treatment to another person, end up losing their jobs just like that. And it's sad to hear that when it comes to white officers who do the very same thing, take a life for no reason at all, get desk duty, pay leave, their picture held for some period of time. We don't know what they look like until all the evidence is out and all these sorts of things. It's a very unfair justice. That's what it is. It's absolutely that. Oh, okay. Thank you, Arab. They suspended another one. Think it was the one who had the taser. Okay. I can't wait to see his face. And I hope more and more and more come out. We're going to come in and out of this conversation in different points, but stay with the conversation. I'm glad that that was posted, because when you look at the video, and I have the clip here. The source is from CNN, and I wanted to share it. I'm not going to share it because, again, due to copyrights with a lot of stuff, you just have to be careful about what you share on your podcast, on your channel, here on YouTube. So I want to be respectful of all journalists and all those podcasters, interviewers who are doing the work out there. I like to get their permission before I use any of their information or sources. So you can Google Memphis, Tennessee, kill black man, and you will see the video. It's on CNN. It's on every channel. You can't miss it. But I'm going to tell you, if you have not missed it, brace yourself for what you're going to see. Many people were saying to me, oh my God, I can't watch it. It was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. And I'm like, yes, it was terrible. But you know what's scary is when you start becoming numb to that kind of treatment to people from law enforcement. Because when I watched it, I was angry. I was not traumatized when I watched it. I was angry. Now, as a counselor, I do know that trauma ends up coming many times for many people later. Trauma doesn't always happen at the very moment for a lot of people. So I get that. So I'm just telling you that if you are going to watch it, brace yourself for what you're about to see, because I walked away angry as all. I was angry. I was so angry. I was angry for so many reasons. Angry because this was happening to a black man. Angry because this was happening to someone that it should not have happened to. Angry because who was treating him so poorly were black men. Angry because it was not only black men, but black men who were law enforcement. I'm telling you, I can write a whole list of why I was so angry. So if you're going to watch it, really watch it and educate yourself. Ask yourself some questions. Have a dialogue with someone. Don't just sit with this and then just let it go. Like, process what you are seeing. Process what you are actually seeing when you look at the video of these 5 officers doing what they're doing. Many people say, well, I don't trust the police officers. I don't trust police officers. And I am one. I'm not a big fan of police officers. I'm just not. And for many reasons. I have never in my life been treated in that way. No officer has never put their hands on me in that manner. But I have ran into police officers where they were absolutely, absolutely nasty and rude for no reason at all. And in that, you can be traumatized just by how someone is treating you. You don't believe me? If you ever had a police officer pull you over and talk to you in such a disgusting way, moving forward, every time you saw a police officer behind you and there was blaring lights, even though it was not after you, don't tell me that you don't feel that anxiety in you. Your mouth starts to get warm. You start to feel this uncomfortable feeling. That is fear. Why would someone who has not done anything wrong see a police officer pull up behind them? They pull over. They are in fear. of the police officer approaching them, opposed to just being calm and getting ready to have a conversation to find out why they were pulled over. So in that, you can be traumatized. You don't have to be literally beaten to death to be traumatized by the code of blue. You don't. That's sad. Because when I was a little girl and you watched television, I remember watching TV and believing that police officers was the good guys. They were the ones that were really out to help you. They helped get little kittens out of trees and stuff and all those kind of different things. Help you unlock your car door when you lock your keys in there. Like, these were the images that they wanted to portray to us. Now, as a full-grown adult, what I see now is totally opposite of that. What I see now is crimes happening by people who wear a badge, carry a gun, drive a police car, have sirens, and all those things. And you want people in the community to have faith in the police officers. Yeah, right. Check this out. You see this shirt? Let's get a shot over here because I want you to check this shirt right quick, okay? Check it and understand what I'm about to say. So my shirt says, I'm probably not listening to you. So that's true. I'm probably not listening to you if you want me to believe anything in that video that you are watching, will watch, or have already watched. There was some justification there. And it didn't have to rise to the point that you get to the point of the video where you see them actually kicking him in the head, his hands handcuffed behind his back, and they're punching him in his face. They're taking a baton, and I'm not talking about a flimsy pool noodle. I'm talking about a baton, police baton, and beating him in his back and across his head. That you're going to tell me that he was resisting. I'm probably not listening to you. I want you to post your feedback and your thoughts, but I'm probably not listening to you. Because no one deserves to be treated like that. No one. And something tells me until they put policies in place, and I'm talking about real policies, and not on the local level. I'm talking about policies that's coming all the way from Congress, the presidents, and all those down to the governors and the mayors and down the chain, that it reached police departments, that there will be strict penalties. We shouldn't have to wait till someone died for a strict penalty to be in place for something to be done right. We shouldn't have to have that to happen. We should have the opportunity to have police officers be held accountable for any misconduct. And I'm talking about from even just blaring your siren, speeding at 85 miles per hour to go nowhere just because you can. But we're going to stick with Tyre because I digress about that part. So again, if you're trying to sell me on, well, he was resisting, he didn't turn over, he didn't do what the police told him to do, he wasn't following the rules, save that and try another approach, because you didn't watch what I watched if that is your view about that. Okay, if that's your view, then you weren't watching what I was watching. And I saw something that was baffling. Okay, so I want to, before I continue to tell you about just my views and my feelings about this, I want us to look at also, or actually just listen to this. I want you to, have you ever asked yourself, what is the culture of blue? I mean, we talked about the definition of the silent wall, which is part of the culture of blue. But do you really understand, or have you ever really thought about what the culture of blue is? What do you think the culture of blue is? Do you think the culture of blue exists? Or no? Because for me, the culture of blue absolutely exists. It exists as sure as you watching this show. It exists. The culture of blue truly exists. And the bad thing of it is, I don't know where there is any I don't know where there's really any accountability before law officers take an oath to serve the community. I don't. I truly don't. And I don't know a lot about law officers. I don't. Like, really 100% know everything about police officers. But I do know what I'm reading. I do know what I'm watching. I do know the law officers that I had conversations with. We just last year, we had former officer Broadway on because he's now retired, and salute to Officer Broadway, because, we don't find too many good officers like Officer Broadway. We don't. We just don't. So, let's salute those who are walking in honor, or who have walked in honor and done right by law enforcement. But again, I don't know too many officers that just are really good. And if they're good, they're in a department that's corrupted. So then I asked, well, why are you taking a job with a police department that's corrupted, where you could not truly serve the community in the way that you should, in a way that you took the oath? Right? I wonder about that. So listen to this. Let's go back a little bit to the incident. And I believe it was January the 9th. The 7th or the 9th. I'm sorry for the dates. Like I talk about so many dates. I do apologize. As a matter of fact, no, let me not mistake the date, because I have it. It was January the 7th. So on January the 7th, Mr. Nichols, it was reported that Mr. Nichols was driving erratic, very unsafe. And I don't know which officers was in the first car that noticed the car he driving the car erratic, and they pursued him. They pulled him over, and they approached his car, and he was asking questions. And truth be told, we don't know exactly what questions. This is what the former officer said he was saying. But nevertheless, he was asking questions, and then he took off, and they pursued him. And of course, he was driving erratic, and so forth and so on. Somehow he jumped out of the car, and he is running on foot. And another set of officers who get the radio call sees him, and they pursue him on foot. Now everybody's running after this 149-pound man. Tall, very slim. But if you look at the officers, and let's make everything very visual for you guys so you can see. Okay? Each one of these look very chunky to me. Okay? They look very chunky and got weight on them. Neither one of these 5 officers or former officers look like they weighed anything less than 195. And I'll even go as low as 185, right? So I don't think by any means that these 5 officers, again, former, could not apprehend 149-pound, and I think I'm stretching it, because if I'm not mistaken, I think they say he weighed 146 pounds, but 149-pound, 29-year-old man. Matter of fact, none of them should have been police officers, because if you can't apprehend this man, 2 officers, let alone 5 officers, oh no. You shouldn't even be a police officer. I just didn't understand it. So they catch him, and first and foremost, they were running on camera. And when I tell you that they were running like they had been running for 7 hours, they were so out of breath. And I don't want to hear nothing about all of the equipment they were wearing, and they were tying the heavy combat boots. Save me with that. You out of breath, and now he made you run, and now you're angry. You are P.O. You are P.O. to the point that now you don't even know how to control your emotions. Now he's resisting you. He doesn't want to be arrested. Who does, right? So he's resisting, and you don't know how to talk him down, get him into a place of compliance. So now you're tired. He won't listen to you. You shoot a taser, you missed him, so now you shot a taser, and now that made you angry. You spraying pepper spray to get him under control, but you're not spraying him per se. You're spraying everybody else, including yourself. Now you're even more angry, and it's just like throwing gasoline in a log on hot fire. It's getting more hotter and more hotter, and no one's listening to reasoning. Well, they're not listening to it. You know why? Because no one was talking reasoning during the altercation. Not once will you hear an officer saying, brother, just calm down. Well, let's talk. Do you have is there anything you're trying to hide? Nothing. No one is the voice of reasoning. How is it that not one of you had a voice of reasoning? And my understanding was the lieutenant, and correct me if I'm wrong, but this was a special task force. This task force was put into place so that they can actually be engaged in the community, representation of the community, and just handle things differently. You can best believe, if not all of them, many of them have done something not to this degree, or maybe to this degree, but just didn't get caught. This is not the first time that you're acting like this. That's not a first time situation. You've done this before in some kind of capacity. Even just the belligerent way you were speaking to this man. You absolutely was in your feelings, and you were absolutely abusing your power. You know, there needs to be more different kind of psychological tests to become a police officer. You just should not be able to get a high school diploma or GED and then be able to carry a gun and work in a community that needs police officers. You shouldn't be able to do that. They maybe need to pay police officers more and really get some qualified police officers who don't want to die in the community and don't want to kill people in the community if they don't have to. More people die in the community senseless. They don't have to die. They're dying because police officers don't know how to do their jobs the correct way. So what ends up happening is that we end up losing another citizen. I get it. They're breaking the law, but that's what jail is for. That's what court is for. That's what getting an attorney is for. That's what that's for. You are not the judge and the jury. You are a law officer trying to instill rules and regulations within the community and keep the community safe. You're not there to pass judgment. You're there to do your job and do it effectively. And what I saw was 5 police officers. You know what? And not just 5. I saw many police officers, easily 9 or 10, not doing their job. Why is that, you ask? Oh, well, let me tell you. Even after they apprehend him, which took forever, to get him handcuffed, and the beating that they gave him, they leave him sitting on the ground, bloody, bruised. I mean, I've seen that from what we saw in images of people as slaves. That kind of mistreating. No one, even at the officers and at the more officers and more officers. I mean, I heard a female on the scene asking what was going on. I remember her telling them, "Okay, guys, be safe." What? Ma'am, you don't see that man sitting down there on the ground, leaning against the car, falling all over, probably going in and out of conscious? You don't see a bloody person there, and not one person says, get someone here immediately. But if someone that was in the blue was shot, beat up, I think we would have saw EMT, some quick response, the aid, quicker than what we saw. And I don't remember seeing any aid to come to him. Now, I did hear that a number of fire officers were put off duty. I don't think they were terminated from their position, but they were put desk duty. And I believe they were put on desk duty because they didn't render the kind of support. Like they were kind of looking around. What are you looking at? What are you looking at? He's right there. You clearly see him. You see someone in need of assistance. Assist him. You're not there to pass judgment on why he looks like this. You're there that someone is in need of medical assistance and you need to treat this person with the most respect. You're not there to be the judge or the jury. So you need to render aid to him. And the firefighters who arrived on the scene didn't do that. The officers who beat him like that didn't do that. And the officers who came there after the beating and saw him sitting there didn't do that. So truth be told, all of them should lose their job. Go straight to jail. That's what should happen. You should not have the opportunity to do anything other than just do your jail time. I know that I'm on a rant, a good one. I don't make any apologies about that. Because if we don't talk about these things and just become numb to what this looks like, what's going to continually to happen is this kind of misbehavior. When George Floyd was murdered, there was I don't think I've ever heard so much about defunding the police until George Floyd's killing. Excuse me. And I didn't truly understand defund the police, what that will look like. I watched a lot of videos. I listened and watched a lot of different advocates who took a position thinking that the best way to serve the community is to defund the police and then put different programs within those communities to service the community. And I was torn. One side of me was like, well, so what if we end up getting people who are corrupted themselves and they're in the community, controlling the community in that way? And then I thought, okay, but if we continue to keep police officers in the community and they continue to do what Chauvin did by killing George Floyd, and then those other 3 officers who did nothing, who didn't intervene by no means, who were looking like they were lost little children in a playground looking for their puppy, we will continue to have this kind of situation. We have to do something different. There has to be really strong accountability. Now, these 5 former officers are charged with second-degree murder. I don't even know how old they are, but no way are they beyond 45. How? Why? Why? Now, I know their families are a wreck. And true, I'm praying for them. I am praying for this. I'm praying for everybody because it's the right thing to do. I don't believe that these men woke up that day and said that they want to go kill someone today. I don't believe that. I just don't feel that. I don't feel that they woke up that day and said, well, we're going to go out and kill someone. We're just going to just kill someone. No. But did you wake up and say, we're going to go save someone's life today? Was that part of your thought process that you're going to wake up and just save someone's life? You're going to do something good for the community. I don't know, but it's sad. It's sad, and I'm angry, and I don't think that this will be the last time we'll have a conversation like this. I don't think that this will be the last time you will hear me or anyone talking about police officers abusing their power, killing innocent people, and he was innocent. Oh yeah, he sped off. Yeah, but he was innocent. You know why he was innocent? Because he didn't have an opportunity to stand before a judge and have him be charged. He didn't have an opportunity to address the matter to why he pulled off in the manner that he did, or why he was driving so reckless. He'll never have that chance, because people who can't control their emotions and conduct themselves as professionals killed him. That's what they did. They killed him. They absolutely killed him. And now they are going to be convicts. And I don't feel sorry for them. I'm praying for them, but I don't feel sorry for them. That could have been my nephews, my significant other, my friends. No. No. I don't feel no way sorry for them. But I'm praying for them. They have truly tainted their families' lives. These family members can't go around saying that, oh, I'm Haley's sister. I'm Emmett's cousin. Like, you can't be doing that. You just too might get your head knocked in. It's sad. I'm really curious to what you guys think about this. It's very sad. It's disgusting. It's heartbreaking. And, you know, I say that there needs to be policies in place that will hold law enforcement, the department, the chief, everyone accountable when people conduct themselves in this manner. That's what I truly believe. And until we hold them accountable, stand united, march like never marched before. If that's what it takes, we can't just get to the point of, I'm glad that people are not burning down communities and things like that. I'm so glad about that. But, you know, we can't let up the gas on marching. I know what some people are going to say, Diamond, march for what? But what do we do? Because once things get a little quiet, this happens. This happens. So if we stay quiet, this is what happened. And I'm really curious what you guys think. It's just almost 3 years after George Floyd was killed. And here we are. Here we are. And it's just disgusting. It's disgusting. And I can rant and rant and rant, and I can a whole lot of things, but it's disgusting. I see a new name in the chat, so I want to acknowledge you. Is that Wise Merit? I may be saying that wrong. If I am, I apologize. But you say fire all cops now. Do you mean all cops, or the cops that was involved in this altercation? And thank you for joining the conversation. It's disgusting. Yes, it's the training that's bad. I don't even know if I mean, as much as there's a physical training that is required to become a police officer, I think the training mentally needs to be more impactful. I think the training, a mental, emotional, cognitive training, needs to be a real key focus. Because you can get someone to say they can run a mile or two, right? Especially if they live in a gym and this is how they like living their lives. You can get someone to do that. You can get someone to pass a physical, but could you honestly get someone to pass a mental evaluation? And I'm not saying, do you know your name? That's not a mental evaluation. If you don't know your name, that's a problem. But no, I'm talking about being able to cognitively pass a mental psychological evaluation by a non-biased, not contracted psychiatrists, therapists to say that you are clear and that you can actually be in a position of police officer, carry a gun, wear a badge, wear that blue uniform, be it black or white or whatever color it is, it's still blue, the color blue, and that you will be an asset to the community. I bet you if they did more evaluations like that, we will find that most of these officers will not be qualified. Will not be. And once you pass that psychological evaluation, I truly believe that once you pass that, you should be required 6 months to 12 months be reevaluated to see what your emotional status is. Because you can't tell me that you processed this trauma in a healthy way, that you did not end up needing to talk to someone. If constantly you're on the beat witnessing horrendous things happening in communities, shootings, just domestic, all kind of things. You're witnessing this. You can't tell me that you are in a good space, that you can continue to perform your job effectively without being impacted by this. And you don't have a therapist in your Rolodex. No. You absolutely are getting these trauma footprints on your psyche, and those things are also what spills over into your performance. So you should be required every 6 months, unless something serious happened, then you should have it before then. But every 6 to 12 months, you should be sitting down with a independent contractor, psychiatrist, therapist, and having a conversation on your emotional status. It needs to be written up in your jacket, in your portfolio, stating that this person is clear to conduct their job effectively. That's my opinion. You should have more than a GED or high school diploma to be a police officer. Just because you went and took a associate's degree and took a criminal justice does not mean you know criminal justice. Just because you can remember and make some flashcards to answer a quiz, the written quiz, does not mean you're qualified to be a police officer. I think it's too easy for people to become police officers in the United States than it is for other things. Sorry. I said it and I meant what I said. I said it. And if you disagree with me, I welcome that. I welcome it. Let's have the conversation. We often too are reactive and not proactive, which is also what we see in those officers who took this man's life. You took his life. You took it. Every blow you gave, you was taking his life. Every kick you gave to his head, you was taking his life. You took his life. He didn't give you his life. You took it from him. 29 years old. A speeding. And yes, he could have hurt someone. He could have. Yes, I know that's what people want. Well, he could have this or he could have killed someone. Yes, child, let's get past that. We know that. He was breaking the law. I wish he would have just been calm in a way that he didn't run, because he could have been calm when he was talking to the police officers and they could have been agitated in the situation. We always are quick to blame the other person. And yes, if you're breaking the law, you're breaking the law. But that's what courts are for. Police officers are not judges. Truth be told, I'm sure many police officers break the rules all the time. All the time. All the time. Not every police officer, because remember, as I said in the beginning of this conversation, I'm not speaking for every police officer, but what I am speaking for is the ones that we're talking about, such as the Memphis officers or former officers. It's just baffling. It's baffling, and we should really be sick and tired of having these conversations. We should be. If you're not sick and tired of being sick and tired, I don't know what it's going to take. Will it take you to lose a loved one? Or even worse, and what could be worse than that than you losing yourself? Will it take that for people to really say no more? No more. Do you know how many, thank God for the body cam, do you know how many footages we didn't see because the person didn't die? I'm telling you, I believe this truly happens more than it does not happen. It is quite annoying. And you have to really conduct yourself because when, as I feel now, I become more angry, sad about the situation. I know that um, before we saw the officers who had killed him, let's be very honest, I'm sure that people who, the minority community, black and brown people, was hoping it was, well, no, not even less was hoping. I'm willing to bet they thought that it was going to be white people that did this. I bet you any amount of money they thought that this was going to be white people that end up killing this man. Nope. It was still the blue wall people, right? The blue culture, the culture of the blue, the silent wall that happened to be black that killed him. Yep. It wasn't the white people this time. And every white person isn't bad. And I know people like, well, every white, listen, stay with me. Stay with me. No, every white person isn't bad. Every white person isn't racist. Every white cop is not out to kill black people. No, if this doesn't apply to you, let it fly. But before you let it fly, what is your thoughts about it? Okay, so y'all keep forgetting. They said they didn't have any evidence of him doing anything wrong. Okay, thanks for even putting that out. Right. And since I'm glad you said that, Rob. It's also stated that he does not have a criminal history. So I had a conversation with someone, and it was my significant other, and I was having a conversation. I was like, the fact that these men could not get him under control, and I mean under control by means of getting him on his stomach just to put the handcuffs on. These are five black men who were looked be in frame, looked bigger, and looked to be a little bit more stronger. Immediately, I was like, wait a minute, is he on drugs? How is it that this slim, skinny young man, they can't control him in a way that they took such force to control him? Y'all couldn't roll. One officer couldn't get one foot, the other one couldn't get the other foot, and one get an arm and the other get an arm and roll him onto his side and get his hands behind his back. He was to that point that he was that strong. I thought, like, well, wait a minute. Is he on drugs? Is this why he's so powerful? Because if you know anything about drugs, PCP, any kind, angel dust, any kind of hallucinogen drug, enough of it or whatever kind of drug it is can have an impact on you that you can feel invincible. You can feel strong. You don't feel no pain or nothing until the drug subside. So I'm like, well, he's got to be on something that they can't get him under control. I'm watching this. Why is it that you guys are having such a difficult time handcuffing him? Well, I'll tell you why I think it was. Because they were so amped up in their poor feelings that they didn't know how to conduct themselves appropriately. They're so angry that they can't even handcuff the man. You're so frustrated. You can't even you can't even handle your feelings appropriately. What? So I'm hoping that the toxicology come back to prove me wrong, that he was not on any kind of substance. And even if he was, he still didn't deserve that. I'm only talking about the substance because it was a point of interest to say, why couldn't they control him in a way of getting him handcuffed without this aggressive behavior? That is why I asked that question. He was not a 245-pound man that had massive muscle on him. No, that was not the case for this man. He was a 140-something pound skinny man who they couldn't handcuff. They just couldn't handcuff him. Okay. Look, I didn't see a lot of live people in the chat right now, but I'm hoping that if you watch this, that you would share it, because I'm really curious about other people's thoughts and feedback about this topic. And I would like to invite you to come in and actually post a comment. Um, I'm sure this is not going to be the last time I'm talking about this topic about Mr. Nichols and his untimely passing due to the neglect of people who took an oath to protect but end up killing him. I'm sure I'm going to be talking about this. I talking about it for me is therapeutic. Having it, which is why I love my show, because it allows me to process my feelings, my thoughts, obtain information, come up with a new way of looking at something. And in this case, I'm really hoping that I can get enough people in this conversation to talk about this very topic. It's important that we talk about it. It's important that we keep his name alive. And, all this hashtagging his name. Okay, yeah. If you're going to hashtag his name, let's talk about him. Let's come around the table, have a conversation, and figure out how do we hold our community police officers accountable through our votes. All the way up from the president, the governor, the mayor, the councilmen, everyone that's in positions. How do we hold them accountable? How do we create a space through our voting and our conversation that policies will be in place to protect people, all people, especially black and brown people? Because I'm telling you, by this way, black and brown people are losing their life senseless to people who're supposed to protect them. And it's disheartening. It's disheartening, people. It's disheartening. It's disheartening. All right, look, that's today's conversation. I am, again, so sad that we have to talk about this guy here in this way. But I'm hoping that through talking, change will happen. Through talking, more people will voice their opinions. I really want you guys actually to share this show. Click the share button and share it. Share it with other officers. Ask them to. I would like to extend an invite to a panel of officers, be it current or former police officers, who are willing to have a conversation with me on my platform. I want to use my show, my voice, and your help in really having healthy conversations so that we can invoke change. We need to come together to make that happen. We can't do it by ourselves. And unless you are against police officers like this, then you are for them. And I don't care what color they are, because at the end of the day, the color is blue. And the silence in that culture is killing us. So we need to fight back ASAP. We need to fight back ASAP. Okay, my people, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I am so glad. I am so glad that you were here. I hope that you would join me every Monday at 6 p.m. I'm really thinking about changing the time a little bit earlier, but we'll see. That'll be in the future. So I'm looking to have more conversations with you on Mondays at 6 p.m. here on Voices Gathering live podcast via YouTube. Please check out the website. It's www.voicesgathering.com, and you can email me anything. Also seek my services outside of the platform for other things I do at diamond@voicesgathering.com. Okay? All right, now, people, look. Be good to one another. Love one another, forgive each other, and let's talk about it, not argue about it. Until next time, I wish you all the best, and I will be seeing you, get out of here, very soon. All right? Be well. Peace.